It's kind of funny how OceanGate has charged people $250,000 to ride in their jankety submersible and has yet to like actually give it any good upgrades. I mean, it's still controlled by a poorly designed Xbox controller. Who in their right mind would want to ride in a sub that's controlled by an Xbox controller?
In the last 2 hours, the US Coast Guard's confirmed that a Canadian aircraft detected underwater noises during the search for the submersible, which is missing in the North Atlantic, with 5 people on board. Earlier, American and Canadian officials said the effort to find the sub near the wreck of the Titanic is intensifying, as the 5 people on board are believed to have just over a day's supply of oxygen left. Heavy equipment and private companies capable of launching deep-sea rescue operations have been deployed. Our North America correspondent Nomia Iqbal reports from Newfoundland.
I mean, honestly, if you're stupid enough to pay a company $250,000 just to go look at the Titanic and they tell you you gotta poop in a Ziploc bag for their bathroom, you kind of deserve to get stuck underwater. I mean, you're just a rich dude, uh, paying another rich dude to go see some junk underwater.
These are the last known pictures of the Titan submersible. It began its long descent to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean on Sunday before vanishing without a trace. Last year, the BBC filmed the vessel. It's made for 5 people and can't be opened within, so if anything goes wrong, it has to be found.
What a stupid design. You're bolted into the submersible, a janky submersible at that. And you're willing to do this? Like, how is the Titanic worth that? Especially having to pay $250,000?
And with just more than a day and a half left of oxygen inside the vessel, the rescue mission's urgency can't be overstated.
It's a unique operation. It's a challenging operation, but right now we're focused on putting everything we can at it and searching as hard as we can and getting the assets out there as quickly as we can.
There are 3 British people trapped inside: the billionaire explorer Hamish Harding, businessman Shahzada Dawood, and his 19-year-old son Suleiman.
Yeah, just rich people who wanted to be like, oh, I'm rich, I'm bored, let me go look at the Titanic.
He had the enthusiastic, outlook of a young child. Really, he was so excited about this opportunity, and he mentioned it with the biggest smile possible on his face in telling me about it. So we were all very excited.
I bet they told him that it was controlled with an Xbox controller, and he got super excited about that. Like, honestly, though, what 19-year-old is excited about being trapped in a sub controlled by an Xbox controller, and you're told you gotta poop in a Ziploc bag, and the only food you get is like some, trail mix?
For him and happy for him that he was able to have this extraordinary opportunity.
Also inside is French explorer Paul-Henri Nargeolet and Stockton Rush, the man who runs the company OceanGate, which is in charge of this expedition to see the Titanic remains. Company OceanGate, which is in charge of this.
Yeah, that's he uses a shitty Xbox controller to control the sub. That's stupid. Like, get uh an actual device that can properly connect and control a submarine.
Expedition to see the Titanic remains.
This is an experimental sub. People are informed that it's very dangerous down there.
Last year,
An experimental sub, and he's charging people $250,000. In the experimental sub, it's made out of junk too. That's hilarious.
he showed CBS how the vessel was operated via a games console.
The search and rescue teams are working in incredibly challenging conditions. This is the worst spring in decades, and it's made visibility really low. They are scouring an area in the Atlantic Ocean which is 70 miles wide and so deep that it's said to be less explored than outer space.
The ship carrying the sub left St John's on Friday and travelled to the wreckage site, arriving on Sunday for a dive that was meant to last 8 hours. But an hour and 45 minutes later, all contact was lost. This is the third expedition by OceanGate. Passengers pay nearly £200,000 to arrive in the province and see the Titanic's remains, which are more than a century old.
From a leader's perspective, it certainly feels helpless right now, but we're not hopeless. I mean, we do hope that this rescue mission is fruitful.
Questions are being asked about the potential safety problems of the submersible. Court documents from 2018 reveal a former worker of OceanGate raised concerns. In the meantime, teams are working out the logistics of what could now...
Well, they're just basically glossing over, like, the whistleblower when this video's title is about the whistleblower. What's going on here?
...now become the deepest search and rescue mission ever attempted. But first, they need to find the vessel. Nomia Iqbal, BBC News.